Hi, everybody. My name is Amanda Zieba. Welcome to my channel, Learning with the Word Nerd, and I'm so excited to be here with you today to walk you through the May pre-planned calendar. This is a calendar of lessons, and calendar doesn't really even encapsulate all that it is. It's a 139-page PDF document with everything you need to teach middle school ELA for the month of May. I make this calendar every month for the members of my Word Nerd Collaborative membership. And so if you're not a part of that and you're just finding this video and you want to know more about it, I'm going to tell you really quick what it is. First of all, you get access to a website that has everything I've ever made ever on it, like 2 decades worth of teaching resources on there, ready to roll for you. Access to that all the time. Second, these monthly pre-planned calendars. If you don't have time to dig through all the things that I've ever made, I'm just going to tell you, here you go. This is what you need to teach in May, the books, the brain breaks, the lessons. You'll see all of that in this video. Also, we usually do a monthly pre-planning session. So I will walk you through this calendar, answer your questions, book talk the books. We're not doing that this month because Easter, but usually we get a chance to connect once a month. And also at the end of every month, we have a famous author lunch bunch in which an author joins us. So coming up here just in a few days as I record this, we're going to be talking with Kenneth Cadow, who wrote Gather for our April. And in May, we're going to be talking with, well, I'm not going to spoil that surprise. I'm going to wait till we get to that part in the pre-planned calendar. So if you want this calendar and all of that amazing support and goodness wrapped around you, so that you don't have to tackle this tough job of teaching all by yourself, then just email me. I'll put my email address down in the video description box, or head to wordnerdcollaborative.com so you can sign up and join us and get all the teaching word nerd goodness. So let's not waste another second. We're going to dive right into the May pre-planned calendar so you can see all of the goodness. I just have to click the correct share button. Alrighty, let's make it nice and big so we can see it. All right, first things first. When I said it's a 139-page document, I truly mean that. You can see here's all of the things that we are going to go through. I always start each month with a little pep talk, a little letter to you guys, so you can find that first. Then we have an overview. There will be this video link right here so that you can go through it and listen to this. Also, this link is a link and a QR code to this actual Canva document. If you are a member of the Word Nerd Collaborative, I give you this so that you can go in, and if you want to edit anything or change it to be more applicable to your students, you have that power. Everything is linked, so if you just want to jump directly to something within the planner, you can do that quickly as well. Our June monthly planning session will be on Sunday, May 18th. It always happens on the third Sunday of every month. Our May lunch bunch is going to be on May 15th. It's when the author was able to meet with us. And also, I know that sometimes schools get out early, in the end of May, and also like schedules at the end of the year are kind of bananas. And so I thought perhaps doing it in the middle of May would be a little bit better. So mark your calendars for May 18th and May 15th. Our calendar for the month, and then let's dig into the resources that we're going to go over. May is Mystery Month, and so I have picked out 5 mystery stories, and a lot of the resources throughout the planned calendar this month have to do with mysteries. So we have Coop Knows the Scoop by Taryn Suter, Vanishing Act by John Feinstein, The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, Olivetti by Allie Millington, and Theodore Boone Kid Lawyer by John Grisham. So all of these covers and titles are linked directly to those First Chapter Friday videos. So if you want to get to them quickly there, you can do that. Taryn Suters is the author who will definitely be joining us on May 15th. I'm going to send out requests. I have sent out requests to all of the other ones. I do not have high hopes for John Feinstein and John Grisham. They are just really difficult humans to get in touch with. I've tried in the past, but I'll try again. Persistence works sometimes. And I also have messages out to Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and I'm interviewing Allie in a couple days. So I'm going to ask her to come as well. But for sure, Taryn will be there to chat with us. Brain breaks. We are going to be doing picture detectives for our brain breaks. There are 4 rounds, and so you can do 1 round per week. It's the same as if I were to do 4 separate brain breaks, but it's just all in one document in one video as opposed to 4 separate ones. So picture detective, I'll tell you more about that when we get to it in the calendar. And then I think the thing that I'm most excited about for this pre-pan calendar is the writing prompts. I did something a little bit different this month, and that is that I created 30 brand new prompts for you. And they are all mystery prompts. So I'm really excited to show them to you, really excited to see what your kids come up with. I think they're going to have a lot of fun. Our lessons. The Bedrock of Truth is a 3-part short story. It's a mini mystery. And then it has some extension activities that go with it. The end of the year reading bag is a super fun end of year recap reading reflection activity to help your students think about where they've been and also maybe make some plans for some summer reading so that the growth that they've made this school year doesn't stop. And then the last one lesson is a 10 by 10 reading challenge, Mr. Beast and Dude Perfect style. And I know your kids are going to buy in and love that one as well. The additional resources that we have are the mystery quote resource, a mystery First Chapter Friday playlist, and also some music instrumental playlists. I've got some brand new songs in there for you. So excited to show you all of that. I'm going to go off screen now, and I'm going to talk to you about the 5 First Chapter Friday books that I have pulled out for you. So just hold on here a second while I dig out those books, and we can look them over and chat about them. Okay, let's get into it. Let's dig through these 5 mysterious books that we have picked out for May Mystery Month. First up is Coop Knows the Scoop by Taryn Souters. There are lots of reasons why I sometimes pick up a book or it draws my attention. And for this one, it was definitely the title. Usually alliteration is my favorite kind of figurative language, but this rhyming Coop Knows the Scoop was just too good to ignore. Let me read you the back so you know a little bit what the story is about. The whole town is talking, the whole town is talking, and it's up to Coop to find the truth. Windy Bottom, Georgia is usually a peaceful place. Coop helps his mom at her cafe and bookstore, hangs out with his grandpa, and bikes around with his friends, Justice and Liberty. The town is full of all kinds of interesting people, and no one has ever caused a big problem. Until now. When the link to a cold case mystery is discovered beneath the playground, everyone is eager to solve it, but somehow Coop's grandpa is taking all the blame. It seems like there are a lot of secrets buried in their small town after all. Will Coop and his friends get to the bottom of the mystery and clear Gramps' name before it's too late? Love this book, Coop Knows the Scoop, and you're totally going to love it as well. Next up is Vanishing Act by John Feinstein. This is the second book in the Sports Beat series. The first one is The Last Shot about the Final Four, a basketball story. I actually read this book before that one, not knowing that it was in a series, and it was still really great. So, and easy to follow, and I knew what was happening. So if you are more of a tennis fan than a basketball fan and you want to start with book 2, it'll totally work. And what happens in this story is there's 2 characters, Susan, Carol, and Stevie. They are teen writers who get the opportunity to cover major sporting events, first through winning a contest, and then their success allows them into more and more events. And so they're at the US Open, and here's what happens. When teen sports writers Stevie and Susan Carroll score press passes to the US Open, they expect drama. They expect blistering serves, smash returns, and fierce competition. What they don't expect is kidnapping. Russian tennis phenom Nadia Simonova was supposed to win it all, but she never even made it on the court. Now the whole stadium is in uproar to try and find her. Can Stevie and Susan Carroll make it to Nadia before it's too late? Oh my goodness, so good. Loved this book. All right. The next one is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is also in a series. And it's like mystery. It's like the Weston game with romance and a love triangle. You can see from the cover, there are just so many little pieces and clues and riddles. And if you like books with puzzles, and love triangles. You're gonna love this book. Let me read you the back. Ooh, rags to riches stories too. That definitely, this falls into that. Secret passages, elaborate riddles, billions at stake. Avery Grams has a plan for a better future. Survive high school, win a scholarship, and get out. But her luck changes in an instant when billionaire Tobias Hawthorne dies and leaves her virtually his entire fortune. The only catch? Avery must move into his sprawling mansion full of secret passages, riddles, and codes. Unfortunately for Avery, Hawthorne House is also occupied by the family that was just disinherited. This includes the four Hawthorne grandsons, dangerous, magnetic boys who grew up with every expectation that one day they would be the ones to inherit the billions. Heir apparent Grayson is convinced that Avery is a con woman, and he's determined to take her down. But his brother Jameson views her as their grandfather's last hurrah, a twisted riddle, a puzzle to be solved. Caught in a world of wealth and privilege with danger around every turn, Avery will have to play the game herself, just to survive. Super great. Book one. I think there's four. Again, pick it up. You're gonna love it. You guys, I wouldn't recommend you bad books. That's just not in me. All right. Next up, Olivetti, another book. I said Coop Knows the Scoop. I picked it up because of the title. I picked this one up because of the cover. Isn't it just stinking pretty? And as a word nerd, obviously the typewriter drew me in. So the other thing that's really great about this book, that sometimes you're like, why do you read books? Why do you like pick one up over another one? This one has an endorsement statement from Tom Hanks. And he says, Millington's writing does us a great favor. Tom Hanks is a big deal. And he's not really like, he's in the writing world, but not like author isn't his first thing. So when somebody outside the writing world blurbs a book or gives an endorsement statement, my ears always prick up for that. I was just gonna make up my recap of this one, but I'm gonna read it because I don't want to leave anything out because there are so many great pieces in this story as well. Surrounded by books, notorious attention hogs, and recently replaced by a computer, Olivetti has been forgotten by the Brindles, the family she's lived with for years. The Brindles are busy humans, apart from 12-year-old Ernest, who would rather be left alone with his collection of Oxford English dictionaries. Once a collector of words, Olivetti, a typewriter, now only collects dust. He gets a rare glimpse of action from Ernest's mom, Beatrice, his used-to-be frequent visitor, only for her to drop him off at Heartland Pawnshop and leave him behind. When Olivetti learns Beatrice has mysteriously gone missing afterward, he believes he can help find her. He breaks the only rule of the typewriterly code and types back to Ernest, divulging Beatrice's memories that he has stored inside him. Their search takes them across San Francisco, chasing clues, dodging a dumpster diving girl, maybe committing a few misdemeanors. As Olivetti spills out the past, Ernest is forced to face what he and his family have been running from, the everything that happened. Only by working together will they find Beatrice, belonging, and the parts of themselves they have lost. This is a beautiful book, you guys. And if you like mysteries, if you like family stories, if you like clues, you're gonna love this one. And last but not least, Theodore Boone, Kid Lawyer. John Grisham is a very famous grown-up author, but he wrote this book because he wanted to write something that his kids would like to read. And it's about a boy named Theo. In the small city of Strattonburg, there are many lawyers, and though he's only 13 years old, Theo Boone thinks he's one of them. Theo knows every judge, policeman, court clerk, and a lot about law. He dreams of being a great trial lawyer one day. He dreams of being a great trial lawyer, of a life in the courtroom. But Theo finds himself in court much sooner than expected because he knows so much, maybe too much. He is suddenly dragged into the middle of a sensational murder trial. A cold-blooded killer is about to go free, and only Theo knows the truth. The stakes are high, but Theo won't stop until justice is served. If you too want to be a lawyer, or you like those cold case murder stories or CSI shows, you're going to love this one. So those are the 5 books that we have planned out for First Chapter Friday. I'm going to go back to the pre-planned calendar so you can see the resources that we have that go with this. So for the whole month, We've got a single poster if you want to post that so kids know what's coming up. You can do that. And then each novel also has its own individual chapter. So if you want to change those up on a bulletin board each week or post them outside your classroom door. And then we've got the first chapter Friday page for each one. So you get the blurb of the book, you get a little bit about the author, you get some reading levels, you get the QR code to the read aloud video. You get that for all 5 of the stories. Next up, we're going to talk about the brain breaks. And like I said, we've got the picture detective brain breaks. And how this works is for each of the 4 rounds, I show you a close-up image like these. And students need to guess what is that thing. Okay, so we've got answer sheets for all of them. You can just show the video and have them write it on scratch paper too, if you want. Or you can also give them this either or type of sheet so that if they need a little bit of help, a little bit of a nudge, you can give them this either or sheet. So there's 4 rounds, 10 pictures for each one. Some of them you're like, well, yeah, duh, of course that's a blank. But some of them are really tricky. And so this is a fun way to like put a twist on that whole mystery theme for the month. So picture detective, that is our brain breaks. Next up, we have the mystery writing prompts. One for every day. We still do Free Write Friday, so that has stayed the same. But otherwise, we have a mystery writing prompt for every single one. I also included this sheet in here that teaches students what makes a mystery, what components are present in a story that determines it is, in fact, a mystery. And so if it were me and I were teaching this in my classroom, I would print this out and again, put it on a bulletin board, read through it as a class, but I would also print this out and give a copy to each student. So as they're working on these prompts, the pieces in here might prompt some more or spark some more ideas for them. So there is that for you. I'm going to look through and I'm going to show you just a few of the different ones. I know that everybody really likes the point of view stories. So here's a mystery version of the point of view sheet. So urban legend says a carnival coming to town is run by ghosts. Take the POV or the perspective of the town mayor, a ghost believer, a ghost non-believer, or a carnival owner, and then tell a story of opening night. There's another one too about point of view with a grandpa who has a secret. About breaking news story, new skyscraper blueprints are leaked and it reveals there's a secret room that's being built into the skyscraper. Take the perspective of the architect, the building owner, the builder, or a building custodian and tell this story. There's also a few where I give you 3 different settings and let the students pick where they want to write a mystery story. Write a mystery story at a fancy dinner party, at a camping trip, or at a shopping mall. Then I gave an additional extra kind of credit bonus prompt of as you work to write this story, try to include sound sensory details, just a little tip or trick to help work on a specific kind of writing. There's a couple other ones that are a mystery combo. It gives 2 images and it says write a story and it has to include these 2 images. So this one's cookies and a car. Another one is a jar of pasta sauce and dice. See if you can use your brain to creatively come up with a mystery that combines those 2 items. Another one, this one's really fun. Write a story that includes these key characters. You, your nosy neighbor, Mrs. Hanson, Klaus the cat, who's always getting into mischief, and Mr. Action, an action figure that spontaneously comes to life and wants to be your sidekick as you solve this mystery. Here's another fun one. Write a story about a mysterious shipwreck. There are all sorts of rumors about a mysterious shipwreck that lies beneath the waters of the harbor in your town. Concealed truth and dangerous secrets are lying just below the surface. Is there a conspiracy sunken just off the shore? Or did Mother Nature just get angry. So again, all sorts of mystery writing prompts there. I put in 5 weeks worth because there are pieces of 5 weeks in May. And so my advice is to look through them, pick out the ones you think your students would want to do the most, and then there might be just a few extra left over. The lessons for this month. The first one is called The Bedrock of Truth. This is a short story that I wrote. It comes with some additional resources in addition to the story. So the first one is that there are vocabulary words, slides to help you go through those words prior to reading it, just working to build up our bank of vocabulary. So there's 3 sets of those slides. There are 10 words for each portion of the short story. You can preview those vocabulary words before. And again, here you can see the list of those words, and there's a slideshow to help you go through them. We review how to annotate a text, how to think about what we're thinking about as we are writing, or as we are reading, and to write that down. That will help us increase our reading comprehension, and avoid passive reading. And then finally, there are some creative writing prompts that you can use after you're done with the story to extend the story experience and also get in some of those writing standards. So let me go to the actual story. So each of the 3 sections of the story are separated. The vocabulary words are already highlighted so they can find them. There is space on the side for students to write their annotations. And then also there is a read aloud video for each section, so that if students want to listen to me read to them while they are going through the story, they can do that as well. I tried to play around a little bit with some of the clues in the text to make it a little bit more visually stimulating for the students. But there is, this is not a spoiler alert, but there is a twist ending that it just makes my heart so happy. And I can't wait for your students to experience it. And I hope that they enjoy that twist at the end. I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to spoil it. So Bedrock of Truth, 3-part mini story, vocabulary, text annotation, creative writing, all built in. This would be a great lesson for you to do, like, hey, we're done with our stuff for the year and I just need something to kind of fill it in, or like, here's something fun we could work on after state testing. If you've got some small group RTI work, this would be a great one for that as well. The next lesson I put in here is the end of year reading recap reflection. And I have a whole video that walks you through exactly how to do this. But basically, you're going to take a bag, an actual bag, and you're going to fill it with some books. And the books that I ask you to put in there, or that you're asking your students to put in there, are very specific. So, and they're going to cover their like reading personality essentially in this bag, and also their reading accomplishments from this past school year. So the things that we're going to ask them to put in there are their favorite book from childhood, the best book they read this year, their favorite book character, a book featuring a cool setting. What else in here? Favorite author, the most blank, the most scary, fun, exciting, adventurous, fill in the adjective, the most blank book you read this year, a reading achievement, a reading goal for the future, and the first book you want to read this summer. So they're going to put all those books in there. I've got these slides for you so you can show them to your students. And then on a presentation day, you will share all of these books out loud. So sometimes hearing what other people are excited about reading, or a reading recommendation from a student, is going to be more powerful than a reading recommendation from an adult. There's also some reflection sheets in here that you can write down. Here's the list that you can print out and give to your students. A planning sheet if they're more of like a graphic organizer, visual type of learner. And then if your students don't have a bag, or often I sometimes ran into this, the librarian was like, we're done checking out books for the school year. Like you can't have these books. And the kids are like, I don't have them at home, and you don't have enough copies in your classroom library. You can do like a visual representation of your reading bag. And it might look like this. Kids might cut out, maybe you have like a whole bunch of old book orders and they can cut out the covers from that, or they print the covers off of Amazon, or they just draw the book cover, or they write their stuff in there. But they can, or you do it digitally. You can use this instead of actually having that physical bag. I prefer the physical bag just because then their hands are on the books, and especially for the ones that they're going to read this summer, they've got that ready to go, or the ones they could like pass off and lend to a friend. This is a good alternative. So that is the reading bag challenge. The next one is another great one to do when you have just like a little bit of time left that you're like, I'm not quite sure how we're going to fill this. And this is the 10 by 10 reading challenge. And I was thinking about this, how we could motivate our students to read. And I don't know about your kids, but my own boys at home love Mr. Beast and they love Dude Perfect and they love these challenges. And like, if these guys can make kids think that putting energy and effort into hitting a golf ball across a football field, through a fiery hoop and into a little solo cup, that they'd spend hours doing that pointless activity. Why can't we take that same concept of motivating kids with a challenge to encourage them and motivate them to read? So the 10 by 10 challenge is challenging our students to read out loud for 10 minutes to 10 different people. We have a whole bunch of possibilities for people. You could start this in school, and then you could challenge them to finish their next 7 at home. Obviously, they can read to people who live in their house. They could read to neighbors. They could read to classmates. They could read to pets. You could take a field trip to an assisted living center and read out loud to those people. You could read to your first grade reading buddies. You could ask them to read to like some community members, perhaps like their pastor, or to the public librarian, or to a coach. But their goal is to just read out loud for 10 minutes to 10 people. They could like read to an Alexa. They could read to like their phone and record it, and that could count for one, reading out loud to themselves. And then after we've done the challenge, after we've completed the challenge, talk about it, reflect on it. Ask them, and maybe you do this in a discussion, or maybe you do this in a written reflection. Maybe you continue that verbal out loud thinking. And speaking and listening strategy, and you have them record their answers on a voice recorder, or make an audio note, or narrate a Google slide with their answer. But like, who did you feel most comfortable reading to? Who do you think enjoyed listening to you read the most? Would you rather read aloud or silently? Which book or passage did you enjoy reading out loud the most, or why? If you did this challenge again, what would you do differently? What feedback did you notice from your listeners? So lots of good reflection questions there. And then because, we'd love to just read for the love of reading, but sometimes a reward is nice. I've got a list of rewards down there for you, bookmark stickers, free books, local business coupon, back in the good old days of Book It. You could have like a VIP pass or time in like this cozy reading nook, like that. Maybe you have a special reading chair in your room, a certificate or a badge of some sort for completing the challenge, or like your name on the Reading Wall of Fame. So there's lots of ideas there for you as well. And you know your students better than I do. You know what motivates them. And so you could, brainstorm some possible ideas of what would be motivating to them to complete the challenge. And then I've just got this challenge recording sheet. So for each of the 10 people, they're going to write who they read to, when they read to them, and then have the initials of the person that they read to, just for a little bit of accountability, and also they can track their progress as they go. And then I also included a blank sheet for you. So this is a 10 by 10 challenge, but maybe you want to do this again, or maybe you want to do this differently. Maybe you want to have them read in 10 different places, or maybe you want them to try 10 different genres and formats. But I give you that sheet so that you can continue to brainstorm and think about what other types of challenges could you apply this to. All right. cruising right along to our additional resources. First up, we have the mystery quote. In many of my First Chapter Friday videos, I include a mystery quote. It's a quote that I've pulled from the story that kind of communicates the theme in one sentence or an important idea or lesson from the story. And I flash it up on the screen one word at a time, and students are tasked with writing down the quote as it appears. The whole idea is student engagement. We want them to stay focused on the video the whole time rather than, oh, you put in a video, I'm just gonna, kick back and relax. But this is a way to keep them paying attention. And so these sheets will just help you implement the strategy. They can also just write it down on a post-it note. It's not a big deal, but if you'd like to have something a little bit more official or go a little bit deeper, I've got these here for you. They can write down the book title and then the quote as it appears, and then they can make a check over here. I think this quote relates to and why I want to continue reading this book or not. You could also have them rate the book based on it, emotions they feel. So just other ways to engage with the story as they're listening to it. And this one's just a really easy, cheesy print and cut it in half and then just have them write it on there. Sometimes when teachers do this, they give a prize to each student who turns in the mystery quote. Like, I've used dum-dum suckers, but I call them super smart suckers because, they're allergy free and they're cheap and they're tiny, and I'm really not rotting their teeth with a piece of candy that's like that big. Bookmarks, pencils, you can have a leaderboard. Sometimes people say, anybody who puts their mystery quote in, I'm going to pick one out, and that's the person who gets to check out this book first. Again, lots of different ways that you can implement it, but these worksheets are hopefully just going to help you make it a little bit easier and take it to the next level. Here's a leaderboard too, if you want to have students compete in teams to see who can get the mystery quote correct most often throughout the quarter. Next up is a mystery book First Chapter Friday playlist. So I have 13 different mysteries in the form of First Chapter Fridays. You can see all those titles here. Some of them we've talked about already. Some of them we have not. There's a link here if you want to copy and paste that into like a Google Classroom or something. But if you want to lean into mysteries this month, those are the ones that I've got available for you. I will be adding Olivetti once I interview Allie next week. So we'll be up to 14 there. Another option is for your students to pick which First Chapter Fridays you want to do as a class. You could have them vote. You could do pairs, like, all right, we've got Theodore Boone and we've got Olivetti. Let's vote, on this Friday for next Friday's choice. And that way the students are more invested in the one that's chosen. So again, as I've said 100 times, lots of ways you can do this. My goal is just to provide them to you and get your brain and your wheels turning, and so you can think about how this would be best received in your classroom. And then finally, I've got an instrumental music playlist. Some of these I had on my channel before, and I've taken down and revised them and put them back up so they are new and improved. Some of them stayed and remained the same. Some of them are 30 minutes or 3 30-minute playlists, and there are 2 60-minute playlists. And they all have kind of different moods. That first one, Inspiring Adventures, is kind of like that cinematic, motivational, like movie trailer kind of music. Happy, positive vibes, upbeat, just, good feelings. The next one, Concentration, is a little bit slower and a little bit more ambient music. The Cozy Comfy playlist is kind of how, when I curl up on the couch with a book and a blanket on a winter day with my, hot cocoa or coffee, like that music sounds the way I feel in that situation, if that makes sense. And then the 30-minute timer especially is really cool because it counts down on the screen each minute, and then 30, 29, 28, 27. And so if you have a work time, that one is really great so that the kids can keep track of how much time they have left to accomplish a task. So yeah, all of those are there for you. And then finally, if you've stuck with me down here to the end and you are a member of the Word Nerd Collaborative, I've got a couple of a one end of year survey that I'd love your feedback on, so I know how I can make this membership better for next year. Um, and then also a time to sign up for a 15-minute time slot, just one-on-one chat with me, so you can tell me what are you thinking for next year? What lessons do you hope I add? What is something like a new novel specifically that you need help implementing? We can just talk about what you're going to do for the summer. We could talk about summer school. So I would love the opportunity to chat with you and connect with you one-on-one. So pretty please do that. And again, if you're not a member and you want to be, totally love to have you. You can join anytime. And I will put that link down in the video description box so you can do it. Friends, we are almost to the end of the school year. You can do it. I can help. Let's hang in there and make the most of the days we have left with our students. Thank you so much for being a member of the Word Nerd Collaborative, for watching this video, and reach out to me anytime. I'll see you again next time. Happy teaching.